So just before the video does start, just a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch. I do daily trading guides including loads of price sheets for special card trading, silver trading and so on and so on. And you get them daily over there for £5 a month or free with Amazon Prime. Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new video and a brand new episode of Market Impact. So we've got a lot of content, so yeah, we've got a lot of catch up with what's going to go up as a result of this content, what's going to go down as a result of this content, and where the investments lie. So, today's content, we've got the Bernardo Silva SBC, obviously the FTSE's, whatever it is, Summer Heat vote winner. We've got marquee matchups, as always on a Thursday. We've got a new player vote with La Liga players, and we've got a leaked SBC that wasn't released. So we're going to talk about the impact of each of those and where the investments lie, but we're going to start off with the player SBC, and that, of course, is the likes of Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva, very interestingly, is out for... Oh, he's only out for 6 days. Interesting. What EA's been doing is it almost seems alternating between if you can do these forever or do these within 6 days. But, yep, he requires a 285 rated team. I think this is probably landing him probably sitting about, what is it, about 300k. Not too cheap. But, as a result of the likes of Bernardo Silva, a lot of people are anticipating, is this going to replace the likes of St. Maxim? Doesn't seem to be. He hasn't actually had a crazy effect on right wings. I've gone for a bunch of them. I went through Salah's. I think Salah's Team of the Season card. I went through Mahrez's Team of the Season card, which we'll talk about in a sec. We went for Adama's Traore's Team of the Season card. That went down 10k. We've got Mahrez's, even his Rota Final didn't really do anything. St. Maxim, I think he's down like 10k. So he really hasn't affected right wings from the Prem as of 40 minutes of him being released. And as a result, I wouldn't expect too much. The only player who's really dropped is the likes of Mahrez's Team of the Season. Now, obviously, it's a little bit like what we had the other day, where Wijnaldum only dropped the likes of Henderson and Wijnaldum himself, just because of it being a direct replacement. And that really seems to be the case with the likes of Bernard. You know, he's replacing Man City right wings. Now, the likes of Riyad Mahrez was worth 400k before 6 p.m. He's been 400k very, very consistently, and now he's down to about 360. So he's taken a 40k hit. He's taken basically a 10% drop. I'll be honest with you, not really enough to invest in him because, I mean, one, there's only a 20k profit if you rebalance to what he was previously, and second to that, you've got to kind of sell him tomorrow because otherwise you're going to have week and week sell-off, and obviously we're getting probably Team of Seasons being put back in packs, what's it called? Not this Friday, but the following Friday as such. So that's going to wrapping up the likes of Bernardo Silva. Didn't really drop anything. Only player who dropped was Mahrez, and I wouldn't even say there's an investing opportunity. I'd say it's too risky with the likes of players dropping a week and week sell-off. And yeah, obviously the anticipation around next Friday, Team of the Season's being re-released. So, talking about content that gets re-released or released a lot, we're going to move underway of marquee matchups. Quite nice marquee matchups. Nothing crazily profitable. No like your Barcelonas, your Bayern Munichs, your players that are going to turn over about 7k per card. Quite a mild marquee matchup, but there was still a bit of money to be made on it. So, obviously, you got Young Boys, this giving off a small gold players pack. We got Torino versus Genoa. Didn't really expect that one. Arsenal Spurs, expected that one. Porto Sporting expected that one, and as I said, the Young Boys expected that one. So the Genoa we didn't expect. The rest of them, the pre-investments have done pretty well. First off, we'll talk about what's gone up for these SBCs. For this one, they wanted 1 RSL player and 7 gold players in return. RSL gold players rose, I think, to about, it's about 1.5k. They're all about 1k anyway, because of course all golds right now are expensive because of the upgrade SBC. So that's that. Like Sporting and Porto. Because of this SBC, quite a lot of Liga NOS players being used. So we're seeing Liga NOS players with a lack of players in a lack of golds in a certain position as such. For example, the Liga NOS has 2 gold left backs other than Tellers, because you're not going to be using Tellers for these SBCs. And as a result, both of those left backs, I think one of them hit 9k and the other one's hit about 3k. So that's a bit crazy. And we expect the right backs also probably did pretty well. The likes of Arsenal Spurs, again, because loads of people have been using gold for upgrades at the moment, both Spurs and Arsenal players are up a fair bit. I expect them to probably drop and then rise again. In turn, I don't really think there are many investing opportunities amongst actual investments for these teams, but there will be an investing opportunity, which I'll tell you in a sec. And Torino, I don't believe this did anything to the market. Now, because of this SBC as well, you can see that 85 chemistry and 80 rating is needed, and obviously rating has been needed for SBCs left, right, and centre. Obviously, you've got the Ronaldo SBC, we've got the 88 plus SBCs. A lot of SBCs have been needing a bit of rating and chemistry, which means there isn't really a massive pool of players that offer high chem and high rating. So actually 80 rated centre-backs did very, very well. The likes of Christiansen, I believe, went from 2k to 4k. The likes of Keane, I think, went from like 1.6 to 4k. So we saw some really, really nice rises because you have to use a minimum of 3 players from the Prem and 80 rating and 80 chemistry. Probably means you're going to be using more than 3 players from the Prem because of the 85 chemistry as such. So they did quite well, and I'd say Arsenal and Spurs players also did pretty well. So there actually isn't going to be any investing opportunity in the likes of the marquee matchups, but because the marquee matchups go and give off a Prime Electrum and a mixed player pack, you guessed right, silvers are going to drop. Obviously, a lot of people doing League SBC, or a lot of people doing the marquee matchups right now, because of course, you know, there's amazing stuff in packs. So a lot of Prime Electrum players packs and a lot of rare mix packs are going to get opened, which in turn is putting 10 silvers and 4 bronzes on the market. So I'll show you right now an example of how these players have dropped. So, as you guys know, Paderborn players are quite an expensive team, but let's go and find how Paderborn, trying to think of position they have. Probably centre backs. They probably have a fair few silver centre backs. So what I'm going to be doing is these marquee matchups came out 48 minutes ago, which means anything left from 12 minutes is their price before 6 PM, if that makes any sense. So if we can go and find it right now, I don't believe this is actually working in my favour. Yeah, so these were 5k before marquee matchups. I don't think this is actually working too well in my favour, is it? I mean, as I say, in the end of the day, these have only been out for 40 minutes. No, this does work well in my favour. So they are 5k before 6 PM because, again, that's before the marquee matchups came out. We can really see they're down at least 20%. Even getting close to probably about 30%. So we can see they're already down 1.4k. Again, didn't work madly in my favour, this example, but this was literally just a random one off the top of my head, not like a pre-prepared, you know, one. But you can see they're down 1.4k, and again, we'd expect them to drop and drop and drop, maybe to about half 7ish. But what will happen is, as long as Electrum packs and mixed packs aren't being supplied as the generic SBCs, these will only rise and rise and rise because of the generic SBCs. So what you can do is pick a few expensive silvers. You've got players from Boreski, you've got players from Paderborn, you've got players from, obviously, Norwich, you've got players from Sheffield United. Pick some of those players, just look at them, and when they stop dropping, buy them. Or if they really haven't dropped for the hour you've looked at them, probably buy them by the time this video is out. So there is an investing opportunity because we have got 10 silvers and 4 bronzes that have been spammed on the market due to everyone doing marquee matchups. So that is where the investing opportunity lies with the likes of marquee matchups because of silvers and bronzes being spammed on the market because a lot of people are doing the SBCs. So that is that us done for SBCs? That is us done for SBCs that have been released. Now, obviously, we got ourselves a player pick. We're going to show you right now who was in that player pick. Quite an interesting one. They've decided to go for leagues now, so you're either going to get the likes of Tello, a player probably majority of people don't even know is in FIFA, Lenglet or Yao Felix. Now, I think this is pretty safe to presume that Lenglet is probably going to win. Yeah, so Yao Felix is an outsider on this one, but Lenglet, obviously French, La Liga, Meta. There's a lot of demand for him as such. Obviously, Barcelona, probably a bigger club than Atletico Bilbao. And so on and so on. So we'd expect Lenglet to win. Now, in turn of Lenglet winning, we would expect French centre-backs to drop, and we'd expect La Liga centre-backs to drop. If I'm not wrong, Kimpembe absolutely destroyed the price of Varane. He destroyed the prices of Kamara. Well, actually, I'm not quite sure if he did destroy the price of Kamara. That would have been a link investment. But he basically would have dropped the price of French centre-backs. I myself had a lot of Varanes. I was a bit gutted I didn't sell them in time. But as a result, basically, he just flooded, or he drops a lot of French centre-backs because people were like, okay, why am I going to have Varane when I can go and get this Lenglet card for 100k? So this SBC is actually going to occur, I think it occurs on the Monday or the Tuesday, so Weekend League is going to be finished by now, so we'd expect cards dropping anyway, because of course when people have finished Weekend League, the market's going to drop, but we'd expect that being excelled by the likes of people, you know, selling on especially French centre-backs, and La Liga centre-backs, probably not your Ramos and Varane are probably not going to get hit as big, but it's probably more like your few 100k ones, so maybe it's going to be your headliner Varane, or your first and second informed Varane, and your team of the group stage, Ramos and so on, so not the top dogs, but anything probably 400k and below that is either a French centre-back, maybe par of the icon centre-backs, and French centre-back or a La Liga centre-back we'd expect to have an effect. Now, sadly, you can normally go for link investments. For example, the Bernardo Silva, maybe you could have looked at Cancelos, you could have looked at Walkers, you know, people that are going to link to them. Well, he wasn't really demanded in the end, so link investments didn't work too well. But with the likes of Kimpembe, we saw the likes of, if I'm not wrong, Winter Refresh Banat rise, and we maybe saw the likes of Lala rise, because people were using those players to link them with the likes of Kimpembe. So, what there is, there's a few link investments, they're not amazing, because of course we've recently had the likes of Mendy, so because everyone's got Mendy, they've really probably got that strong link to Lenglet. But there are a few investments, I think, you know, I'm going to be too risky. The first of those being, if I can spell his name right, which is always a bit of a challenge for myself. Arola? Can we spell him right? There we go. Didn't take too long. We've got the likes of Arola. Now, you do have a few other French goalkeepers. You've got the likes of Lloris, but the point of Lloris is he's currently in packs, which is going to be dropping his price. So, yeah, I do like the likes of Arola. Now, he is inflated 5k today. So, you know, because this SBC isn't coming to weekend league sell-off, you might as well buy him with weekend league sell-off. So recently he's been about 25, 26. So the likes of a Roller, I think, is a very safe price of 25 on both consoles. Again, you're selling them Thursday before Friday, because Friday they're dropping all the team of seasons, and we expect a bit of a market crash on Friday. So going to sell them Thursday overall. It's basically this time next week. The two other investments are Semedo. Not a mad amount of good links for him to link. Not a mad amount of right backs that link to Lenglet, but you got the likes of Semedo. Semedo is also inflated today from 90 to about 100. So again, I'd look at probably picking him up for about 90. Ideally even 85. I think about 90 on Xbox and 85 on 85 on Xbox and 90 on PlayStation looks good. And then finally, obviously, you do have the likes of Mendy, but for God knows whatever reason, maybe someone wants to link up a left back. You do have the likes of what's it called? The Inform Semedo, who I think 27k on both consoles wouldn't be too shabby. So you got Inform Semedo, Headliner Semedo, and a Roller are the link investments. You could go to Stegen, but I prefer a Roller. Now, one of the reasons I do like a Roller, by the way, is because, of course, people might back Kimpembe or the Sarr. Well, if people got Kimpembe and Sarr, they're probably going to want a French goalkeeper to link up, you know, the trifecta of Sarr, Lenglet, goalkeeper. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like the French goalkeeper over Marc-Andre ter Stegen. So, now moving on to the final piece, or the final impact of the market, and that is going to be us not having the FUT birthday pack. Now, a lot of us expected this birthday pack SBC coming out today because it got added to the code about midday, and if you remember what the birthday pack SBC is, it's basically where you can pack yourself either a Rota Final, Future Star, or FUT birthday. We did have one previously released. Let's see if I can go and find it for you guys. There we go. This is the first one we had, which gave us a Winter Refresh, Shapeshifter, or Headliner. But of course, we're going to get a new one with the new players that are in packs. Now, what it did require last time, if I can go and find you the SBC, is this right here. It was 45k, therefore you can see there's a lot of demand for this SBC. It's cheap, it is a random player, should be well demanded. Now, I'd expect the same sort of requirements, if I'll be honest with you. I really hope they're not going to, yeah, being relatively kind to us in, you know, in the likes of Summer Heat, so I'd hope they're not going to increase the requirements much. But to give you a rule of thumb, every time they release, it's been an 83 rated with 80 chemistry. And it's, yeah, it's just been that really. It's 45k. I believe they've released it also in the 4-4-2 every single time. Now, they could easily change the formation to the 4-3-3. But the players that did very, very well for these were players that offer very high chemistry. Of course, 80 chemistry is quite high, especially if maybe you have a few untradables. Especially you've got Randy untradables made from the Eredivisie or the Superliga. They're not the easiest to link in, which as a result puts more pressure on the left wings or the players in your squad to offer the chemistry. So the players that offer very high chemistry are your left backs, right backs, left wings, right wings, and centre backs. Obviously, there's loads and loads of strikers out there. That's some of the cheapest of the rating, but in turn of left backs and right backs, there's not too many. So we were expecting this SBC today. We didn't get this SBC. That part added to the likes of Bernardo Silva not being demanded, which isn't going to push fodder up. It's going to push fodder down. That with marquee matchups, going to push fodder down because more packs are open. Actually allows us to have a nice window to make a bit of investment or make some investments for this. Bear in mind we expect this tomorrow. So, what's our players you're going to be looking to invest in? I would say 80 to 82 rated defenders and wingers. Now, you may say, but it needs 83 rating. Why would you go over 80 rated players? What I said earlier is people already have high rated untradables. We've recently had the 588 player pack. I don't think anyone's struggling to get rating. The thing that people are struggling to get is chemistry, because maybe in that 88 pack they've got 3 goalkeepers. Well, 3 goalkeepers aren't going to contribute much towards getting 80 chemistry, even using 2 of them. Which, as a result, means you need to buy, you know, people are going to have to go and buy players to get chemistry rather than buy players to get rating. So, the players that do very, very well when high chemistry is needed is your left backs and right backs and left mids and right mids. So, a little filter I would throw on Footbin would be a minimum of 80 rating, a maximum of 82 rating. And I say, the sad thing is I can't madly give prices because I just know if I give prices they're going to become relatively inflated. But I'll have a little look at these prices and tell you some players I do think are pretty nicely priced. So you got Regulon, he's a little bit pricey. Halsenberg, it's a little bit pricey for my liking. If you get the likes of Kolarov for 5k, not bad. Probably expect him to go up to like at least 7-8k. Gaia, I'd say that's too inflated for my liking. Nico Schultz, that's too inflated for my liking. Let's have a look at some of the right backs. Actually, wait, what's Gulam looking like? Gulam for 2k actually would be pretty decent. Yeah, I'd say I like that one. Then moving on to right backs, let's see what could do well. The likes of Bender would do pretty well. The likes of Isauko wouldn't be too bad. What have we got scrolling a little bit further? Alan Mead is not amazing. Hakimi at 6 isn't too bad because he's actually got a 13k price range, which is really promising. So Hakimi at 6 isn't too bad. Moving now on to centre-backs. What do we fancy from here? High-rated non-rare centre-backs when we do quite well. So you can look at the likes of Fazio, look at the likes of Hintiger, look at the likes of Glick even. Scrolling along, the likes of Chris Smalling even at 1.5k wouldn't be bad. Likes of Sergi Gomez at 2k wouldn't be too bad. Likes of Izzo even at 2.5k is a really good buy. So I'd say these players just offer very high chemistry, and it's really what you need for the SBC. I won't bore you guys with too many examples, but let's see if there's anything a little bit more pricier, like the likes of Matip is a little bit cheaper. Gintner, wouldn't be surprised if Gintner hits about 7-8k. So if you want to go for a Gintner for 4.5, 5k, probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But that's really going to wrap it up for the investment. So to give a little recap, Bernardo Silva didn't do much. Dropped Mahrez, not really going to affect the market much. Marquee matchups, 80 rated players from the Prem did quite well. And Spurs and Arsenal players rose, League and Lost players rose, and RSL players rose. So if you want to go maybe snipe them, go mad. Marquee matchups can bring down fodder. Also bring down the price of silver players. You can invest in silver players. Player vote, you can go with the likes of Winter Refresher Roller, Headliner Semedo, Informed Semedo, Party Bag SBC, didn't come out. Drop fodder drops, you can go and invest in. So, I believe that is us capping and hopefully, giving a good market review of what I believe what you can, again, invest in, what's dropped and what's risen. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys made some investment and make some coins in the back of it. I'll have a look how the last episode did. We what did it? Recommend Henderson at, was it 100k? Earlier Henderson was 115. So if Henderson is back down, do know that he was up earlier. So it's not too bad. All right, Henderson. Yeah, he's still probably holding about 115. So yeah, he'd be turning over the best part of about 10k after tax. So didn't do too bad from yesterday, but we still got till tomorrow morning for him to rise a little bit more. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys make some good investments. Hopefully you make some good money. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another market impact.